have just come out of executive session and we are returning to open session. I will just give you the members in attendance this evening are Ben Amaya, member, we have George Bacon as a member, we have Jess Gugino as member clerk, Mark Phillips as vice chair, myself, John Schmallenberger as chair, and our conservation agent is Joanne Kristoff.
I'll be right back.
Okay. What's that?
Do you have a flax on that building?
Don't I? No.
That's not your placard.
Yes, I'm off.
That's paper somewhere.
I'm out.
You can do minutes.
Yeah. Approval of the meeting minutes of July 22nd. Everyone read the minutes? Beautifully written. Any changes to the minutes that anyone has found?
Sure.
Thank you, Mark. Motion to approve the minutes of July 22nd as written.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes unanimously. We'll wait until Joanne comes back to see about payables. How are you, Jen?
Not too bad. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad to be here in person with everybody.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Zoom.
I know.
That was weird.
I thought I might have to do that.
Yeah. Glad you did.
Luckily.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Let's see what we're going to do. John, do you want me to do time, like, keep time?
Keep time?
Do you want me to?
Please.
I didn't make us a time control plan just because I
That's
didn't
okay.
have time to do that.
Just let us know when you're tired.
It's time to move on.
And make sure when we go through sample place, we have to spend a little time on bylaw.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cut that short if we need to.
Yeah.
I can give you more minutes.
Not working?
I don't really understand. Zoom is supposed to be on that tablet, and we're supposed to be able to have this tablet. And I have misplaced the office cell phone, so I can't get a hold of Cindy, who is doing this remotely.
So we don't have Dan?
Well, he's waiting. He's in the waiting room. What did- Let me go to one other thing. Modern times and technology are kind of
Can I ask the people in the audience what they're here for, if you don't mind giving
I'm here for the Panther Place.
Cantor Place?
I'm here for the New England Power Company, COC.
I'm sorry for what?
New England Power Company, COC.
Okay, great, thank you. And yes? you said-
Center and Lot A&B.
Okay. Thank you.
Just sent her an email. I don't know if she's checking her email. Cindy, I just sent her an email. I don't know if she's checking. I said, we can't contact you. Oh, is everyone in the waiting room here waiting for the confirmation?
Who's doing that?
it says type message here, can you just touch that and see if you can type it out? Or is it totally her running everything, Jim? Yeah, go ahead. Just say we're ready.
Graphics?
Me?
I don't think this, yeah.
Keyboard.
Well, somebody else was doing something, I don't know if we can.
Yeah, it's not working.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I good morning. What's up?
Who's doing that?
Cindy. So as part of getting the new computer, we changed the place in the office that the office cell phone charges. And it was right in this new place that I don't even know to look for.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's nice having a new computer. So she's switching Zoom to the tablet it belongs on.
Okay.
Doesn't belong on here. She said give her a minute and a half, and then we can.
Sign-in sheet. Do you want to give an extra pen for the sign-in sheet?
I don't have an extra pen, but
I've got green.
That'll work. Which one?
You always used to wrap it in green off the chance.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason that
all right. So here, this is Dan's update. These are the extra agendas. This is your packet and George's packet.
Thank you.
Is there a table?
Nope,
no payables,
nope.
confirmation of agenda.
Yeah, the agenda's fine. And you'll need one of these too.
So do we have,
Recording in progress.
This is sounding more like Zoom where it belongs. That's good.
Extra.
and Dan will be joining us shortly.
It should be. Hang on. That doesn't look like Zoom.
Hey, Joanne, this is Cindy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, we're good to go.
So I'm not seeing Zoom on 101.
I'm seeing it. Oh, hang on.
Oh, okay, now I'm seeing it. And have you made us a co-host on this end? Or are you gonna will you let Dan in?
I did.
You did. Are you there, Dan?
Can we do gallery view maybe?
There's Alex.
Whoops.
I'll get a hold of Dan.
Because things are,
With the power company COCD is the plan.
It will be so quick because I didn't actually write it. So we can approve it and I can sign it.
Okay. Then why don't we do that first while we're waiting for
Dan.
Mr. Vansigalka to join us. That we will do request for certificate of compliance, New England Power Company, DEP file number 100-0448. Would you like to join us, please?
Sketch us it there.
Come on. Can you state your name? or-
Yes, my name is Samantha Walker. I'm with BSC Group. And Allison Milliman, who submitted it, should be on the phone, or said she would be on the phone. Someone
Yes,
give her a
we
call.
just need to call her.
Just for any extra questions
Yeah.
that you may have, because she couldn't be here in person.
Were there any questions?
I didn't have any questions. I think this is all ready to be issued.
Any discussion? Which project is this? It's the New England Power.
Yeah, so this is the certificate of compliance on behalf of the New England Power Company. It's the work that was permitted for soil borings at 9 transmission line structures within BVWs and the buffer zone to BVW.
It's that cross-country.
Right.
And Allison sent us photos of the boring sites restored to lush little circles of green growth. And there, we didn't do a site walk because it was such a remote project. And it was very clear that she had New England Power Company under her thumb. Yes. So I don't have any questions that it was.
Anyone else have comments? Motion to issue a COC for New England Power Company, DP file number 100-0448. So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes unanimously. And you will write that up and.
Yep, and issue it on Monday. So we've done this before with Allison and New England Power. We know where to send it, and we'll get it.
Okay, are you sending it to the BSC Group?
No, I usually send it right to New England Power Company.
All right, I mean, that's whatever Allison wants.
Yeah.
All right, okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Great, thank you for your patience.
Yeah, spent more time outside than you did in.
Oh, it's okay, it's a pretty building.
Appreciate it, thank you. Our next item this evening is a public hearing continued, notice of intent at 43A Groton Harvard Road. Ayer DPW stormwater outfall improvement on property owned by Edward Goulet, DEP file number 100-0459. Dan, it's nice to see you.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for letting us join by Zoom. You can hear me all right, can you?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, so the 43A Groton Harvard Road project, last time we met, we went over the options and the decided option, which met everyone's needs, which was to put the rain garden close to the pond and pipe down to it. So I formalized the plan and sent her in a letter on August 5th. And so there's changes to Plan C 2.0 and Sheet D 1.1, just the detail for the rain garden. So that's basically all that's changed since the last time we met that I formalized the plan. So I don't know if you have any questions or want to discuss anything else.
Any members have questions or comments about the project? Everybody good?
Yes.
Set? Motion to approve the notice of intent at 43A Groton Harvard Road, Ayer DPW stormwater outfall improvement on property owned by Edward Roulette, DEP file number 100-0459.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Dan, you and I can go back and forth on the order of conditions.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you have a timeline to start this?
Not really. It would be good to get going this fall if we can.
Okay.
So I could touch base with you on probably Monday. I'm out tomorrow, Monday,
Okay,
or next week. Yeah.
good. Let's do that.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye.
Good night. Yep. Motion to continue the public hearing. Notice of intent at 43A Grand Harvard Road. All the rest of that, DEP file number 100-0459 until,
Next meeting's the 26th.
let's do it the next meeting and see if we can do it. So that'll be August 26th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Passes unanimously. All right, next item this evening is a request for determination of applicability, MRDA 252 Woodland Way, Alexis Sanders, Assessor's Map 36, Parcel 180. What's
You know,
going on with that?
I never did hear back from them. They knew they were going to be on the agenda tonight, and
What is it that they wanted to do? Do you have a sense?
oh yes,
Yeah.
so
It's this thing right here?
it's that thing right there. This is a color version of it. So this is a house at the bottom of, this is Woodland Way here, going down the hill. Sanders' house lot is here. And, you know, it's got the finger-like wetland that comes down through and goes under the road, so it's, this is the house, the buffer zone, the wetland. You got that, Jess? So in talking with them, I had them have their landscaper use the Mulaney underlying plan showing the wetlands, the buffer zone, the drainage easement, gigantic, they've got a big basin on their property. So they basically want to do a lot of landscaping in the buffer zone. And I've looked at this plan pretty closely. I wish it were more native plants than it is, but they really, really, really don't want to see that basin. So this set of plants here is really a forsythia hedge. This little row of circles up here is the Rosa rugosa that the developer is planting.
And that's in now?
I haven't been up there for a couple weeks. I don't know if it's in now or not. That's sort of the green prickly fence to keep folks out of the basin. This basin doesn't actually hold water. Water comes in and immediately goes out. So it's ugly all the time. I don't see that there's any problem with what they're proposing to do, but it was a really good exercise for them to work with the landscaper, and then the landscaper was able to put the plan on top of the engineering plan so that everybody's clear about where the resource area is, where the buffer zone is. And they'd like to get going on this fall. So I will call her tomorrow and find out what happened, why they're not here.
The rear yard sign, is that the 50 foot?
No, I don't think necessarily. This is the 100 foot? Yeah. So if this is the 100 foot, this is about the 60 foot. Maybe. I'd say that was more like 50 here.
Probably up the other side where it's green, that's 100 foot on the other side. Or is it? Or no, that's the BBW. To the right, upper right-hand corner.
This?
That's the BBW,
No, yeah,
right? The D30,
yep,
Yeah,
that's the wetland line.
Okay. All right, yeah, now I get it.
All right, well, we don't have to take any more time on this because they're not here.
Maybe recommend some willows instead of the
Yeah,
forsythia.
I can try.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that holes are pretty crazy growing too, so
yeah,
that's what they're looking for.
yeah.
All right, so, continue. This,
It's a meeting.
Yeah, it's a meeting, so we don't even need to continue it. We'll just see them again.
all right. Let's do that anywhere here. All right, our next item this evening is a public hearing, notice of intent, 0 Washington Street, Lot A. Planning board approval not required, lot associated with Panther Place, OSRD subdivision, northeast site development, Joseph Levine, DEP, file number to be determined.
You do have the file number.
You do have a file number?
Yes, it just,
460?
yeah, it just came.
460.
Did you see the other two file
Yeah,
numbers?
we got the other two
today?
as well
Yeah,
today.
okay. So there was some confusion with this file number.
Why is that?
Because the NOI was submitted as Lot A. Which was just confusing because there was another Lot A, so the whole,
None. Another one?
it was, the description of it was for 14, I think it was, not even, the description of it was talked about 14, the DEP's guidelines. Yeah, this was an email I got back from Tom, the analyst. Do we know where the sign-in clipboard is?
Sorry about that.
Oh, did you guys sign in?
Yeah, I can get it for you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I'm not sure where the Lot A reference came from on the subdivision, but
Well, we all know.
it seems like it's resolved, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And where can I plug in? What's that? Oh, that's it.
Go right above my pink one.
sounds good.
So if I'm D, you must be E. Okay, you guys can drive.
First on,
That says lot A is 460.9, I have 460 now, is it 461 or 460?
the A&R Lot A is 461, and Lot B is 462,
Okay, thank you.
and the Panther Place is 460.
So we've got a tech thing here. Alex is with us on Zoom over there. The microphone for him is over there. And we're all masked and it's Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, can you, I can hear you now. Sometimes the sound fades in and out. The other thing is, can the screen be shared? Because from here, it just looks like a whiteboard. I think it's partly to do with the overhead lighting. If it can't, it can't, but it would be nice if it could be.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
Turn this
See
one
what
on.
she's looking at.
That doesn't help. That should make things worse. Never mind.
He knows what's going on. It's fine.
We'll try to cue you in if necessary.
He's familiar, so it's fine.
Right, but if we wanted to hear what we're saying, we've got to practically shout, especially this end of the table.
All right, good enough. You gentlemen have a presentation for us?
Yes, I'm Brian Butler, Oxbow Associates. Joe Levine, I think most of you know, Northeast Site Development. Alex Parra is here for council as if needed, and my eyeballs. And Beals Associates did the engine. Definitely find a better surface. There we go. Did the engineering on this. Ben Enos did primarily most of the work. So here is Panther's first on the agenda, or which is the first item?
There's the agenda.
Let's see, it's,
Lot A.
Lot A, okay, good, we'll do that. These are simple and, I need this. Whoa. That is really interesting.
Thanks.
That's an old, can I close that, I assume, if I can get the mic?
Yeah, you can, yep.
Very good. Okay, there's our budget list that we forwarded to you as well already today. And whoops, where's the rest of the material?
So just to be clear for the minutes, we're opening the public hearing for 0461, Lot A.
Yes.
Want to go to
If we have to. Yeah, I'm not seeing the right files here, although I can barely see the screen with my.
Here, why don't you give me the mouse and tell, so this you're in my power.
Oh, okay, then that's, yeah.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'll drive, so just tell me where to go.
Yeah, back to my flash.
Lot A?
Yeah, should be in there. I'm not seeing it.
Nope, it's just the receipts.
In that case, for expedience, can I go to the paper copy? Lot A is well, this, I guess. There's 3 lots here that were all reviewed under the NRAD that was filed with this commission in May or thereabouts of last year. And one line was reviewed, revised, and approved by this commission. And it's by reference used to establish the delineations on these lots. Lot A is an A&R lot that's on frontage on Washington Street. It has, how many square feet is it, Joe? It's 17,000 square foot. It has no housework in the buffer zone. It has all activity is beyond 50 foot. And it has shown the limit of work and the limit of erosion control on Lot A are coterminous there. In the original submittal, which I may be able to pull that up elsewise for the public.
This is the other, these are the other files on that flash drive.
That's a better way to read this.
No, it won't be on that.
No, it wouldn't be on that.
Actually, well, yeah, it will be on that.
Will
No,
it?
the
A&R lot?
A&R's not been in the front.
Here it is, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
try it. Shoot.
Yeah, you can just scroll to sheet C23.
There you go.
There we go.
You can just zoom in.
Yeah, if you can zoom to that corner lot, in the upper.
Across the menu bar up to the left. There you go. No, plus or minus to the right.
There you go.
Great. This is the identical information as with the submittal. Essentially, we have a house box there shown. Whoops. The wetland, the 25-foot, 50-foot, and 100-foot buffer zones are shown. The houses within the 50 to 100-foot threshold. The limit of work is the bold dash line, yep, as you pointed out there. So that's the limit of all activity, grading, loam, seeding, tree cutting, et cetera, on this particular lot. There's no stormwater because it's a single-family lot. There's no stormwater required by the environmental standards, but these lots are already anticipated in the Panther Place stormwater management system, so they are accounted for, they're just not individually accounted for. So we think it's a relatively simple, conventional lot that sort of respected the 50-foot threshold in its entirety here, and the house is so placed to maximize, avoidance of and still comply with the sideline, front line offsets. As you can see, that it's boxed into that sideline offset corner as maximally as it can be, and we think that is wholly compliant with the gist of the bylaw, the intent of protecting the 50-foot and having the activities not transpose influence beyond the 50 to 100-foot range. I think this is a pretty modest lawn accommodation, and the house fits in nicely, and it's largely in buffer zone, but exclusively beyond 50 feet. We hope this is one of your simpler reviews for the entire year.
Any questions? Concerns? Commissioners, Joanne?
Well, commissioners, I of course always have concerns. Well, so I'm wondering how we're going to let the homeowner know that they cannot go beyond the 50-foot no disturb. The commission in the past has required like a boulder shrub sign sort of demarcation, or
I didn't bring that up. I thought we'd do that in order of conditions, so.
Just to jump in myself,
Yeah.
is along those
Yes.
lines, is in the past with other commissions and stuff, I am totally fine with the boulder approach. I like it just because it's such a, we put the boulders there, it's plainly, clearly obvious that, you can't go past it, and for somebody to go and do something, you gotta go get the equipment.
Yeah,
So,
basic equipment.
look, everybody does these things and they worry about what happens down the road. So if I was sitting in your seat, the benefit of the boulders is it's really hard to plead ignorance. If they had to go get the Bobcat and pull out 10 boulders, you can't say, well, but I have no problem with boulders on any of these. I have no problem with the boulders. I have no problem with even signage. I think that's totally fine.
We've
And,
got very nice signs that we had produced that say, no dumping, no disturbance,
Yep,
with
totally
the Conservation Commission logo, resource area beyond this point or something. They're orange and green, they're very handsome, they're about this big.
Yeah, no problem. That's no problem. I mean, so again,
They're not real obtrusive.
but again, it's all that's out there. But again, like I and myself.
I'll call on
yeah.
you when commissioners are done.
Yeah. So
thank you.
when it comes to this or any of the other lots, any of those kind of like the boulders, because when you're working, they get created anyways. So it's fine. It works good on both ends. So I have no problem with that whatsoever.
We're actually almost through another big giant subdivision where they have in fact finally run out of boulders.
Well, in that business, there's always someone who has them.
Yeah.
So and
Someone
they're
willing to
happy to give them to you. So in the business, that's a good problem.
Yes.
If you run out of boulders, it's a
Yes.
good problem. So, but any of that kind of stuff, totally fine with it. No problem.
So we're happy to have this lot conditioned as is with if you have a standard description for the boulder,
Yeah. if you want
spacing or dimensions of the
that kind of
sign.
stuff,
that's-
it's totally fine.
Just narrow enough to keep equipment from going out lawnmowers or
Sure.
anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that the commission's looking, to avoid that lawn creep is what you're trying to
Yes.
avoid.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Yep.
The
lawn creep.
Lawn creep.
Every year the mower takes another whack, so yeah, if you put the rocks there,
Keep hearing.
yeah, you're gonna lose your mower really fast. So yeah, we can do that, no problem.
So in the past, we have had the engineer actually draw them in on what becomes the approved plan, so that,
We could redline this plan we can make that addenda and have the plan, so there's a red line as opposed to new information for next year. That way you can draft the order and issue and without any surprises. But
Yeah.
we can place iconography, and it can be referenced to whatever special condition you have the, boulders at X, 8 foot, 6 foot intervals, that sort of thing.
It'll just be a note on the construction documents, so it's fine.
And how many signs?
What is your 50-foot spacing, or what's your typical,
Yes, that's how it is in the Georgia.
A little tighter than that,
A little closer than that? 25?
50 or 75 usually, depending on.
So,
I'd say, yeah, I mean,
so this might be a 3 sign, and if you could draw those in, have the engineer draw those in.
show and plan? Yeah.
that's fine.
And those are a couple $100 each, right?
Oh, you got a deal on them somewhere?
They're like 25 bucks. I don't know, what are they?
I'll take care of it.
I think we've been selling them for 15.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you'd like to pay,
That's fine.
but
But no problem, no problem.
we have them made in the correctional system. They have a sign shop
Oh,
that you can, which is a really nice thing to be able to do. The work is great and the price is amazing.
Yep, and not low to the ground, I mean, not too low to the ground so that.
Yeah, that's fine, I imagine, either it'll be on a post, or if you want it attached to a tree, I mean, it's whatever the commission prefers. I'm not really worried about it.
Any other comments? Any questions from commissioners? Yep, could you state your name, please? And
My name's Sharon Woods. I live at 142 Washington Street, which is the house that's right up there.
right there.
So I just had a couple of questions about, can you trace what my first question is, this border, the edge of the planting, beyond that, do they not take down the trees, they don't touch it? Is that how it works?
This,
Yeah.
It's a 50-foot line, right?
Well, that right there, where Joanne is running the mouse right now, that's outside the 50, but that's a predetermined, just no cut line. Just,
Okay, so along that
Yeah.
curve there, and that's where you guys are saying you're gonna put the boulders, so.
yeah, along the curve.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, where that big oak is, that's the other edge of it, so there'll be a little bit of a border between our land and theirs.
Well, honestly, those trees right there, they're probably gonna get cut, because with the root system and the branches. But like we previously met, we can meet outside of this, I'm perfectly, and I stood by it, that we can get together and do some landscaping, and things like that, to replace what's there, just to be a good neighbor.
Okay.
So I have no problem with that. But those trees are gonna, like the trees in the buffer, for example, with the X in them, we couldn't cut them anyways, but those are staying. But those other trees, they're gonna have to go.
Including the 3 in front too, along Washington.
That might be to be determined. Depends. I'm not sure about those.
And then, my next question is, it's a very sloped land. I saw on the earlier plans, it looks like you had to put in some fill to level it off. Is that?
They're probably gonna be filled towards, on the Washington Street side of the house, and then work with the slope, so there'll probably be somewhat of a walkout in the back.
Okay.
But the fill, like right now, there's a guardrail
Yeah.
right there, so put that guardrail removed, and then we'll bring in the fill, for the driveways to be flat out Washington Street, and then depending on whatever the Department of Public Works prefers, we might put a guardrail back, we may not, because right now the guardrail's there because it's a drop-off and slope.
Yeah.
But if we bring the grade up, DPW may not want it, but if they want it, it's going back. So we'll figure that out, with DPW.
Great. Anything else?
Not at the moment. No, thank you.
well, I do have one other request of the engineering company is that, and that's that they put some dimensions on the plans. We really don't,
Actually, I think I have one question while she's looking. We're kind of confused because we see the state lines where our land is, and the location of those trees is actually kind of on the line, so I was just kind of curious if there's a buffer zone or something like that kind of confused me. Every time I look at these plans, everything looks a little off from what I thought.
Well, without meeting back out there with you
Yeah.
and going over it, it's kind of hard. I don't want to tell you something
Okay.
that with all intention is winds up being not
Yeah,
accurate.
no, it's just, that some of those, I don't know if those are purposely across this or.
Well, I would assume then, if to her point, if those trees are actually more on the line, property line, and you have a 50-foot setback, you're probably not touching those, I would assume.
The sideline setback is what?
The sideline setback, I believe, is 15 feet.
Oh, 15. I'm
15
sorry, I
feet.
thought
And
it
that's
was
just the
50.
sideline setback, that's just structures. So
Okay.
you can still go in and work.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, I always try, and usually I get burnt, because I'm like, no, we can save it, and then you build a house and the branches are going to the second floor. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
So, look, if it's a beautiful tree, look.
Yeah.
my
No, I thought you said
business-
5-0, so that's why I was thinking.
Oh, no.
50 feet.
No, we're 50 foot tall, but I believe the sideline setback here is 15 feet.
Okay.
No structure,
Yep.
so.
Well, and
Yeah, that could be tough.
there's nobody who wants to see trees remain more than me. I promise you, there is nobody. But as soon as you start driving heavy equipment over the root zone of a tree, you really compromise the tree.
Yeah.
And in order to not compromise, you've got to stay as far away from the trunk as the drip line of the outer branches.
Yeah, those trees won't make it.
But like I said, I plan on, outside of this, we'll get together and, we'll figure it out, so. Anything else?
No, I don't know anything. But I want to talk to you.
Yeah, but we'll talk.
Yep.
When did you find out what you're looking for on dimensions?
Oh, we need some dimensions on,
That's fine.
yeah, all of the plans, I think they were saving numbers or something, but the lots aren't dimensioned.
The square footage of each lot is on there, just I think, I'm speaking for Ben, the engineer, that rather than clutter each sideline, there's a scale bar there, that's what but if, we can certainly add those, that's fine.
Yeah.
For the final
Yeah.
order and things like that.
So, but property line, length on all four, and
Yeah, we
Yep,
can,
and closest dimension
Yeah.
to the
I believe we had another-
resource area.
yeah, we had
because
other
need that
documents.
on the-
yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
we did that for the subdivision lots, we have those graphically
Yeah,
illustrated.
And even on this hard plan here, we have it called out, but
Yeah.
I think you can all appreciate, you can, if you put every sideline, every dimension, then you can't read everything. But
Well-
when it comes to the final one, we can definitely call it out.
Do things that are helpful to us. so.
Sure, that's what we can do. So if that's what you want, we'll do it.
The
So, yeah.
commission needs more than this.
No problem, done.
Most set and-
Anything else? Any more discussion at all?
We need a sidewalk.
We need a second. When can we, hopefully not this Saturday, but when can we schedule a sidewalk?
Yeah.
Still daylight till 7:38, if that's a preference of the committee, I don't know what your normal is for, it could be done at 6 o'clock or something. Sure.
I can't do it this Saturday.
Next Tuesday? Or no? We can't next Tuesday.
We can't next Tuesday.
And I can't this Saturday or next Saturday.
Any other day of the week next week? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Not Friday.
Not Wednesday for me, but
Thursday?
you don't have to have all of us there.
No, but as many as possible. What is that date, Jess?
Wednesday's the 18th,
No, Thursday.
Thursday's the 19th.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? Thank you.
It's been a long day.
Okay.
So what are we talking about Thursday?
The 19th.
I I could do the 19th.
I can do 19.
George, you
Something new to do.
cannot? Okay. Jess, you can? We can get 4 of us there, so maybe. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. What time would you like to do it? I'm free.
Well, if we're gonna do the whole, this one,
The
the
whole
next
shebang?
one, the whole shebang, it should.
Earlier
Not
than
really
later?
the whole shebang.
Yeah,
Probably not the whole
We're
I
not-
hope it would be a short one, the commission's already approved the wetland line and whatnot, so I hope it's not a lot to, in debate or delve into. The stormwater's been reviewed by the DPW and by the planning board, so hopefully you can probably do the whole thing in a fairly consolidated, manner, this and the subsequent filings. This I think will be a very brief walk, but of these 2 lots, the rest of it should be.
Well, one thing that we had talked about was the inability of the commission and mostly Joanne to process all these at one time. We have to take them in manageable bites, the notice of intents. So we're not going to do, we don't want to do all 17 of them at one time, because it's just not possible to do that.
Well, if I may, Mr. Chairman, if we can maybe, I'm not disagreeing with that, but if we could table that discussion for a second, because I think if we can get into the other lots, some lots are far more, some of them just 100, so it might be, then we can circle back and then maybe break it up to how time allows.
Prioritize.
Yeah, so maybe we can kind of circle back towards the end of this.
I want to bring that up.
Yeah, no, and we'll obviously work,
I don't know if we're going to be doing all.
Oh, correct me, but I think, we can do the 2 A and R lots tonight, but we don't have
Right.
final applications for the others. Those have to be revised. I believe, our town council talked to Mr. Carr about that.
Yep.
So I'm having great trouble hearing you right now, but Gary, you're talking about the process for the other notices of intent and how to consolidate the hearing, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so, we had initially submitted as a single notice of intent for the RSRD lots. Joanne had asked us to submit a waiver request, which we did, to, permit a consolidated, notices of intent under the bylaw. That seemed to be creating, and we're just trying to accommodate, the commission here. That seemed to be creating, more difficulty. So we submitted under the bylaw, separate notices of intent for individual lots that are jurisdictional, even though we really think there should be a consolidated hearing. It's just an attempt really to satisfy or accommodate the commission and your, bylaw regulations. But this really, at least in my view, and I think in Brian's view, this really doesn't, work as separate notices of intent because the drainage systems are so interrelated and we obviously can't show you, segmented, portions of the drainage system. So, if you could open all of those hearings together, that would be, I think, the most useful way for the commission to proceed. I think it's been said some of the lots are more jurisdictional under the bylaw than others. I don't really agree with that characterization because, all of them are, basically outside the 50-foot no-touch zone. But that's for the commission to decide, and you may want to focus more particularly on some of the lots than on the other lots. But again, concerns are related that I think if you open them all together, and then consider, as we go through the lots and the overall subdivision, you can focus as the commission, wants on one lot or the other or more of the lots. The other discussion we had was, I did speak with town council. She had asked to discuss this, and she was suggesting that the commission asked DEP to issue, separate file numbers for the lots. If DEP will do that, we don't have any objection to that. I don't know that DEP will do that now that they've issued a file number on the state application. And I don't know if Joanne has had an opportunity to discuss that with the circuit rider or anybody at DEP. So that's where we're just trying to move this process forward in a way that makes sense, given the configuration here of the subdivision and the associated jurisdictional work. So that's what we're asking the commission to do, is to open them all together.
Well, this is not our only project in town. We can't devote all of our time and energies, unfortunately, to you, and it's, like I said, it's not possible, given the resources that we have, which is Joanne, to do it all at once. It's just not, I don't believe it. Am I speaking out of turn?
No, not at all. I'm,
Yeah, our intent, Mr. Chairman, in filing a consolidated, even though the bylaw prefers the opposite, was for the purpose of condensing it, making it more digestible and manageable as a file rather than having 14 or 16 different files that Joanne, both, the applicant has to manage and deal with, and Joanne and the town have to, in most circumstances, we prefer, and I always advise clients, separate all the lots so that none of them are joined at the hip when you go for certificate of compliance. But we have 3 properties, stormwater is on some properties, not on others. Some lots have buffer zone work with a house, some have buffer zone with just grading and so forth, and so to separate them all out and kind of just put them in a kind of a box individually seemed more cumbersome and logistically difficult. That's why we elected for that. Normally, I've worked with Joe beside it. Joe, you want separate notices for each one?
This is the first time we have it.
And because of the 3 lots, and because they're all joined at multiple connected junctures, that's why we did it. It wasn't our preference. But
What do you think, George?
We used to do separate lots. That's why we've been doing it.
Used to do it.
Used to doing separate lots. That's the way we're used to doing it.
And these will all be built by a singular party. Joe will be, he's not planning on selling lots off to different builders. It'll be his project.
I understand.
And again, the intent was, we just thought it would be
Streamlined.
we honestly was.
Right. Is there going to be a sequence to the, I'm assuming there's going to be a sequence to the construction process.
Yeah, there will be a sequence, but the first sequence of land clearing comes into your jurisdiction. Then, so to do the land clearing, I would need, I need all those approvals to do it correctly. I can't piecemeal, do a little clearing, do a little clearing, do a little clearing. It needs to kind of happen all the time.
So it all happens at one time.
We're going to put up a barrier for natural heritage purposes, for turtle exclusion, that'll encompass the entire project area.
Yeah.
And erosion control will be subordinate to that. But so that the whole site would be one area that's cleared of blind turtles, ideally in the first season, and then not have to be addressed subsequently unless the fence fails, that sort of thing. So that's another reason it's all joined at the hip, because Heritage views it as a single activity.
How many can you handle realistically in your schedule?
I can probably do 3 or 4 a meeting and keep up with all of our other stuff.
Right. That's the problem, is that we just have.
Well, I mean, if I would just be honest with the board, nothing, but, if we do 3 or 4 a meeting, this is gonna take a long, it's gonna push me, this is gonna take a long time, and that's, we'll be here till the first of the year. And I don't mean that in any sarcastic way, that's just reality where, in all
How have
honesty.
we done the places that we've just taken care of? What do we do with Shaker Mill Pond? Separate individuals, correct?
No, that was before our bylaw, so,
Okay.
Can I interject here, if you may? So we're not in any way attempting to jam you up with time in terms of, issuing orders of conditions, and I know Joanne has a lot of work, and it would be difficult to produce, 14 orders of conditions at one point, and that's not the purpose of asking you to consolidate these. I mean, I think what we're really talking about is being able to make a coherent presentation. So, for example, if you take lots 13 through 21, you've got a integrated, interrelated drainage system. If you only open, say, lots, 4 of them, lots 13 through 17, then we're going to have a fairly stilted discussion, excluding, 18 through 21. I mean, it's just, it's like, only being able to discuss half the picture. So, again, if you open them together, then we can discuss the interrelated portions, but we do not have an expectation that you would, necessarily close all of those hearings together. You might reach conclusion as to the interrelated drainage systems. You may still have some issues with respect to what I would call, the separate individual lot work. And alternatively, if you were satisfied and you closed all of the hearings on those lots, we're happy to work out, a schedule so that Joanne doesn't have to produce all of those orders of conditions, within the 21 days of the close of the hearing of that segment. So, again, we're not trying to jam you up on time. It's just, from a legal perspective, if you open, the hearing on only a segment, then we can't discuss the whole story, and it just doesn't make any sense. That's all we're trying to accomplish here, is to be able to present to you a coherent, picture. And again, we're happy to work out timing issues or the issuance of orders and conditions to meet.
It's not our goal to stall you out either.
No,
we know that.
I didn't read that in the bylaw. No, I got that. Well, I guess, if I may, because if we could maybe just keep talking about the lot. So let's go to the second one, and then if we can, the way I'm looking at this, let me just explain everything. And then obviously this is not gonna get completely answered tonight, but at least everybody sitting here will have a full understanding to some degree of what we're doing. And then maybe that would help with additional information, you know, have a different, you know, more detailed discussion. Is that maybe fair?
Yeah, let's get through A and B.
Yeah, and then we'll just keep showing and keep talking about the project and then
Yeah, but we
new
also have
information.
some other things on our agenda for tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, you know,
Time check is about 8:15.
so can we?
So we're,
Yep.
we're done with lot A for the time being.
So I think we have our marching orders, do we need to refresh the plan for the
Yeah.
record?
And any other questions at the site walk?
Yeah.
We'll do that. So,
Did we decide on the site? Did we decide? Yeah, let's go through.
The ninth,
the 19th.
Oh, yeah.
but the time, I'm not sure.
Okay, well,
Earlier than later, I'm assuming.
Okay.
I mean, whatever people can do.
Yeah, so who's gonna be there?
Can we?
Everyone got
4:30, 5
I mean,
o'clock?
it's fine.
What are we thinking?
well, Joanne's, you have to come in late that day and stay later.
Yeah, I'm the least of the worries here.
So what do you say, Mark?
I'm just out of 4:30 or 5 o'clock, does that work for folks?
So what for you, Jen?
Yeah, I can do as early as 4, so.
4 o'clock?
I can't do
4 o'clock? Huh?
I can't do 4.
4:30?
5:30?
4:30 is okay.
4:30.
Alright.
Look at that.
The 19th.
Yep, 19th.
Great.
So should we jump to,
Okay, well, let's close out this.
okay.
Motion to close the public hearing.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue. Yeah, no. Thank you. Motion to continue the public hearing, 0 Washington Street, Panther Place subdivision. We have file number DEP, file number 14-0461
Correct. Yeah.
until August, is it 461?
Yes.
461,
Until August
26th.
26th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, let's move on to our next item is public hearing notice of intent. 0 Washington Street, Panther Place. DEP file number 100-0462.
Is he ready to read?
Yeah, Joanne, could you close it down and just go to that drive again? Or minimize this, you don't have to necessarily close it. And I have it refreshed so that those things are appearing now. Yeah. And then lot B, if you could. Wait a minute, did you, go up No, I go up 1 tier, I think, on the drive. I just refreshed it from here, so it should be.
We're here to go up, it's at its top.
Yeah, man.
So,
That's bizarre. I just learned
Fussy
this.
did.
Let's just walk on.
Oh, you'll
Back to the
yeah.
plan. All right. Back to the plan we were looking at.
Yeah.
Okay, so lot B.
Lot B is similar. It's a frontage on Washington Street. It's a lot of 18,000 square feet, plus or minus. The driveway will be on Washington Street, as will the frontage. It has, part of the building is in the 100-foot buffer zone. None of the clearing or grading, landscaping, etc. is within 50 feet. You can see the heavy dash line shows the limit of clearing there. That's intended to both respect the 50-foot no-touch zone, as well as just provide privacy between the lots. You'll see there'll be quite a stretch of intact woodlands between Lot A and Lot B for the benefit of enjoyment of the future occupants. Again, this has no stormwater associated with it per the departmental requirements, but the drainage contributed by this and the adjacent A&R lot are anticipated in the stormwater design for the entire system. As everyone's aware, it slopes from Washington Street down to the utility right away and beyond that, with about 100 feet of grade change from Washington Street to the back property line. Here we don't show, but we're happy to provide dimensionality on the sideline property bounds and iconography that shows a boulder barrier per the specifications of the commission at the 50-foot zone with signage. I guess 3 signs are probably appropriate in this lot as well. You can see one on the north of, is that north? Yeah. One on that diagonal and one, kind of perpendicular, parallel to the rear house line. I think would be, inform everybody of the limitations here. You see that large tree, I think it's an oak, will remain. Yep. The other one there is too close to, will be in the grading zone.
And this one.
Yeah. Again, we think this is among the simpler filings you should be reviewing this season, and hope that upon the sidewalk you won't have any concerns. It's not too much, no steep grades on these lots. It's not a radical grade change from the street to the rear disturbance line.
Any questions?
Sidewalk, same thing.
Yep. August 19th?
Yep, at 4:30.
Yep, no problem.
Same thing.
Anything else? Motion to continue the public hearing at 0 Washington Street, Panther Place, DEP file number 100-0462 until August 26th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item this evening is a public hearing. 14 notices of intent at 0 Washington Street, Panther Place, DEP file number 100-0460. Go ahead. No. I say we probably should just continue this because we don't have time this evening to go over it, but we can.
Could we just do a quick run through overview so the commission, everybody here?
Yeah, we won't bury it. If you open it, we'll go through it, just, Cliff Note version.
Very quick.
Is that fair?
Yes, please.
And could we, maybe for expediency, I have this scanned in that disk, hopefully it's still there.
Well, can I just put a little break in here, just
Sure.
because, I think Alex, Amy Quest will talk to you about us, what we really wanted were, still talking about the whole project, but 14 notices of intent, one for each lot, and then a separate one for infrastructure. And I sort of feel a little uncomfortable going against, I believe she wrote you something to that effect as well. So I feel a little uncomfortable moving forward under one DEP number to discuss 14 lots.
Mr. Chairman, if I can respond to that. We filed with DEP with a single file number, and we filed 14, I believe, Form 3s to the commission specifically under the bylaw. So we've effectively partitioned these, it's in the wherewithal of the commission, I think, and I'll defer to council here, you can order a singular order under DEP and 14 orders, they would be cross-referenced under the bylaw. As it's filed currently, right now we don't have 14 distinct file numbers, but we do have 14 distinct filings with the commission that reference the master plan set. There's no point in carving out, again, because of the interactivity of everything. If we carve them out into single lots and give you a vignette of just that, I think it's somewhat misleading even.
So, just to follow up, a conversation that I had with Amy Questle was that if DEP would, issue separate numbers, then, they could be treated as separate applications under the Wetlands Protection Act. I don't know if DEP will do that or not. I don't know. What Amy and I discussed was that Joanne would follow up with DEP to see if that was possible. But for the purposes of tonight, would be to, open the 14, and it's advertised this way too, is to open the 14 under both the bylaw and the act, and then if DEP says, no, we don't want to give you the separate numbers, then, well, you're opened under the bylaw and we can proceed in that way. Again, it's just trying to accommodate, you know, what everybody is asking for.
Alex, when I talked to Amy after she had spoken with you, she made me to understand that you all would in fact file separate notices of intent for all 14 of these lots, and that there would be a separate notice for the infrastructure, because that's in fact what the commission was aiming towards with our regulations under our bylaw. With a subdivision, there'd be an infrastructure order and then individual orders for each lot. It actually is simpler for us to do it that way. It's a lot easier on the homeowners going forward. One of the other lots we talked about tonight with that landscaping project, that whole subdivision was done that way, separate infrastructure orders that connected all the stormwater, and then individual orders for each lot. And it's up to the commission, but that's what my understanding of your conversation with Amy was, that
well, we just have divergent understandings of the conversation. And I don't want to get into, you know, I'm right, he's right, whatever. The understanding that I had was simply a question of whether, you know, DEP would issue separate numbers for the separate filings that we've already made. I don't think, you know, submitting additional filings is going to produce one iota more information for the commission. I'm honestly not quite sure what the difficulty is here. I mean, I really don't have an understanding of why, you know, we would need to make a whole new set of filings here. So, I mean, it's a question of how the orders and conditions are, you know, recorded. That's really our problem. If we have to, you know, make 14, 15 separate recordings, we'll do that. But in terms of the commission's consideration, there's nothing, you know, that would be added by making a whole bunch of new filings. And I guess we would have to, you know, withdraw the existing filings. I mean, I can't even begin to think how that would play out.
And all the filings, Alex, would be best because when we subdivide these, they still share the common deed, right? So
Let me read an email, please, let me read an email to Joanne from Amy Questle. I spoke with Alex Barrett and he is fine with having the 14 lots as individual notices of intent under the WPA and bylaw, with the 15th notice of intent being the subdivision infrastructure and stormwater. Please contact DEP to see what is the easiest way to accomplish this. Can we just send the 14 NOIs to them seeking a DEP file number? All fees have been paid. We are really just shifting the house lots out of the 15 NOIs and putting them with the bylaw NOIs. From Amy Questle. If we have differences of opinion between you and town council, then I think we need to discuss this further with town council and yourself.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last thing you said.
If we have differences of opinion on what you and Ms. Questle discussed, then we are not comfortable going forward with
I thought what you just, and again, I'm not trying to create a bug here. I thought what you just read was exactly what I said. So I don't think there is a difference of opinion. I think there may be a...
Well, we want 14 NOIs with individual DEP file numbers.
You have the 14 NOIs.
File under the bylaw.
File number.
Yes, and what, again,
Could I suggest, Mr. Chairman, you can tell me I'm stupid and shut up. If we give them, the file number is 460, could lot 1 be 460-A, 460-B under the bylaw? So you would have an actual, would that accomplish the same thing without?
Can you do that?
well, you don't have to have numbers to open.
Well, for the internal reference, just to distinguish each lot as a separate item.
We can ask town council, but
Because they're all still joined by the parent deed or deeds. So they're going to be joined at the hip until the very last one is closed out.
I don't think this is something that we're comfortable saying yes or no.
Yeah, well, I wasn't actually, I was suggesting as a way of reaching both goals.
I got you.
Maybe that might be acceptable. I know it's not something you normally do, but under the bylaw, I think you have some latitude.
It sounds like tomorrow I should call Amy and call the circuit rider.
Yes, if you can.
Well, did the circuit rider say something to you about DEP's best management practice?
Yes, DEP prefers, while it's not controlled in the regulations, they consider it best practice to have an individual file number on each individual lot in the subdivision.
Because their fee schedule, asks you how many of each. It doesn't encourage separation.
I'm just telling you what she told me.
And we normally, every time I work with Joe, say, separate them all,
Always have.
nice and clean, everything, but
His
this
whole intent was just to make
make
it
it
easy on your
at
side of
least-
the table. That was the intent.
Yeah.
Right.
We spent ad nauseum discussing it.
Alex, Joseph, and myself had, these discussions out about, what if we do this?
Yeah, and we said, no, if we do this,
We're not
this
trying
way
to
to help them. And
Right,
that
well-
was the intent, so.
We appreciate it.
A for effort.
Right, but including the commission in that conversation might have been a different way to approach it, instead of just guessing what they would want, because from where I sit, what you have come up with is not in fact what they want.
Well, again,
So let's not,
I think we're kind of getting bogged. I don't know, does Chairman, can we still open and can I still explain roughly? Is that
I think the
possible?
idea is we don't want to open it, right? Because we don't want to open it under this number with all this stuff, right? We do
Right.
not want to open this at all.
Under this number.
Under this number.
Right.
It's just, we need,
Well, can we not open the filing, the initial filing that was made as the infrastructure portion so that we can make some progress tonight
Not on 460, I would say, no. Because it's too intertwined, it's mislabeled, it's everything then, right now, so I would say no. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think that's, we don't want to get to a can of worms. Sorry about that, but.
What do you think, George?
Go over that.
I agree.
Well, just one more thought, and Ken, you can throw me out of here. If we open this hearing with that file number, that file can always be amended in the review process so that 460 could subsequently become only the stormwater or only lot 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like to confirm that with DEP, that they would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that, not knowing.
Well, sometimes you can file 10 lots and you end up with, 6. It's the same type of process that you don't throw the file away, you
Right.
amend your
Yeah,
middle.
and no, and I think you're probably right, but at the same time, from a time perspective, I know we've probably spent more time just on discussing this than we probably, So, I guess again, if we're not opening the hearing now, we just move on so we can get to the rest of the agenda.
Yeah, we got other things to discuss. So we're gonna show.
So we will schedule a visit for the A&R lots, or we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
on the 19th.
Yep.
Yep.
And I will, sometimes it takes me a day to get a hold of the circuit rider. So if I don't.
Yeah, Kim's good, usually good in responding, but I know she's got a lot of,
Mr. Chairman, can I
People calling her,
ask,
like-
if you don't, can I ask just one question? Just a question, procedurally. If we were gonna be there on the 19th for those lots, A and B, could the board take a walk with me in the woods, just to be familiar with what may be the future filing? So it's kind of like, for the board's time of efficiency, at least there was a site visit to get familiar with the area? Is that possible, you think? Just in, I see the board has limited time. We're there, you're there.
as long
We're
as
gonna
we're,
move, we're definitely shoving this discussion on opening the hearing, but at least it's a site visit, opposed to, well, now we gotta do a second site visit. If you're there, if we get, I can walk around and,
Anyone opposed?
I mean,
Are
a
we
second.
gonna learn anything more than we did when we did the verification of the wetland flags? I guess
I guess what I'm saying, just in case, I'm trying to say, oh, we need to go back out for a second site visit. If you're already physically there, I could walk around with anybody and show anybody. Yeah.
Do you have?
Yeah,
do you
I think if
have-
you're trying to save a second site visit for the stuff that's under 460,
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna work. We're gonna be doing site visits for those lots, I'm sure.
I was just saying, I'm seeing how limited time we're there. I'm trying to do two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
That's all. I mentioned it. I'm there. I'm happy to walk if anybody wants to. That's what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll decide at that
Okay,
time.
that's all.
You know, it's a good idea.
Here where you do sidewalks, they want to see stakes showing where the house corners are, where the center line of the road is, so we get an idea where the construction is.
all the road, everything's outside jurisdiction.
Yeah, so the roads out, so,
There's drainage there, right?
nah, so that's,
Just the outlets are actually at the buffer zone, we're not even working in buffer zone.
The stormwater structures, for sure.
At 50 grand, I'm sorry.
yeah, so a lot like the roads all out of the jurisdiction, so, again, just to familiar us and stuff. I'm just trying, I'm offering.
No, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Coming back to,
No, we're all done with this for tonight. We have no time.
just a quick suggestion here would be, is if we could arrange a conference call with the circuit rider and Brian and Joanne, so that we all get on the same page.
That would probably be productive, yes.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Town council.
Yeah.
Our town council.
Yeah.
Yep, good suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate the board's
your
time.
patience, and I'm sorry this is so confusing, but it is.
Well,
As are we.
but you know what? We'll get it figured out.
We will, all right.
Because that's what we do. We get it figured out.
If you're, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well,
Thank you, Sue.
Thanks.
Thanks. Have a good
Thank you
night.
very much, good night.
Good night, Alex. All right, so we are going to do a little chat with about fertilizer use bylaw.
Yeah.
Boy.
thank you very much.
Thank you too for your work on that.
It's a good evening, thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
very
Good
much.
night.
All right. What do you got for us? Bylaw approved?
What do you have here, Jeff?
Yep.
Okay, I've gotten, well, Jen had looked at it earlier and we made changes before, even though she wants to put down her rule.
It was all Jeff's.
No, it was Jeff with counsel from Jen.
And this is the unedited draft, right?
Yeah.
Uncommented, I should say.
Right.
Yep.
And, so Marky sent me comments. And George and John and Joanne, do you have any additional comments? Or do you want to just go through Mark's comments?
Yes, let's go through Mark's.
So on the first page, Mark wants to get rid of all the A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah.
Is that
He just wants to get rid of
the presumptions?
not the presumptions, just the use of literally
The
a.
actual A's,
okay.
I don't know if we need them.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, okay, there's no reason
I
not
can
to.
get rid of those. Under the fourth paragraph, Mark wondered about getting rid of the evidence also shows that the excessive nutrient enrichment of ponds from, among other sources, fertilizer runoff. I only put in among other sources because there is like stormwater runoff,
Dog poop.
dog poop and stuff. And, you know, I can just envision at town meeting, somebody will say, it's not all fertilizer. And it's like, yeah, we know, but that's the one we can control.
Right, but also, yeah, it's
So
a
I-
fertilizer bylaw, it's not all other sources bylaws.
That's true, so I have no problem with getting rid of that phrase,
Which phrase is that again, please?
among other sources.
Among other sources.
Yeah, okay. And Mark would like to change, Eric already annually spends a large amount of its taxpayer revenue to, spends tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayer revenue.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Sort of-
quantify it.
Yeah, it tells you what it is.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Okay.
No, I think that's fine.
Is that an accurate number?
It is.
I think it is, right? That was like 30,000 something like that, so.
30,000 a year.
I mean, we could give you more accurate, I just said tens of thousands, we want to say, you know, approximately 20,000 or some, you know, or 30,000, whatever, something like that.
30,000 a year.
Yeah, whatever.
This is gonna be the bylaw forever.
Right. So,
10 years
She
from
put a
now.
definite number.
Okay. All right, so then, yeah, not a definite number, then,
what we do, tens of thousands might be.
do we think it'll ever go down?
Oh, we hope it will.
It should
Well,
be.
it could just say spends
We could just say
taxpayers.
spends thousands of dollars and be done with it there.
Okay.
It'll
just
probably
like
never be
that,
zero.
spends
Let's hope it doesn't get much bigger.
Thousands
Right.
of dollars, okay.
Tens of thousands is fine. It will never go down, and I don't think it will be around when it's there.
Well, I think George is hoping it goes under the tens of thousands, hopefully, so.
Yeah, and just the very last one, changing valuable natural resources to valuable water resources, I think that's fine, because this is focused on water.
Yeah.
Under the definitions on page 3, under page 4, under eutrophication, Mark has suggested sort of the second half of that paragraph, starting with excess fertilizer used in lawns and landscaping, leaches into groundwater, going to the end of that paragraph, he's suggesting moving that up into the presumptions.
Actually, when I reread it again, I was actually wondering, let's start with human activities from that point and move that for some reason. It's the sentence
Same
before.
spot.
Okay, from there?
Yeah, starting at human activities.
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I'm just thinking, you know, definitions, let's leave them as definitions.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I think I did the same in the organic fertilizers. I started at, I believe, slow release.
So if I were to move human activities on, so I put that between the formerly D and E. And then Jen, you were thinking maybe getting rid of all of those.
All the presumptions.
I just thought like I didn't know if we had to justify ourselves.
I was thinking more like, this is looking at a bylaw, gives educational opportunity.
Fair.
Okay.
I was just gonna be like, no, we'll just help them. So
Yeah.
I appreciate your.
Yeah.
I like how you roll. Just tell them.
And I'm only jumping ahead briefly just to move things back earlier. And Under synthetic fertilizers, did you just want to delete that?
No, synthetic, well, synthetic, you could, I was thinking from water soluble, that would go up to presumptions, and then under organic, from slow release would go into presumptions.
Okay.
And then I think I gave you a bunch of stuff that just, to make it read better, like an actual paragraph, it just seems like there's a lot of statements that were just in there.
Yeah, I think yours are fine.
Okay.
And I think under fertilizer, if we put the fertilizer ratio ahead of organic and synthetic.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna move those, okay, so then goals are good, under, F, you okay with A, B, C, D, E, F, good?
On the back.
Under goals. I think under goals are, yeah. The other thing is, and I didn't do it in the draft, but when it's eventually in full bylaw form, I think we wind up following the format of section 1 or section A, 1, 2, 3, or I'm not sure what that is yet.
Yeah, I think spelling out specific goals, I think is fine.
Okay.
I think, like I said, the presumption piece should be a little bit more of a narrative and educational.
All right, conserve valuable, so under F, just getting rid of, including areas and ponds, we don't do that, that provide drinking water. So Mark proposes just having F read to conserve valuable water resources, increase property values, and reduce the financial burden on taxpayers and property owners. Blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Yeah, you asked about proof on the burden on taxpayers. Well, one is just the pond treatments. We know that's the actual amount spent.
Yeah.
Performance standards, this one, under A, in red, October 16th to April 14th. That is, the state standard is, somewhere in here. State standard is December 1st to March 16th. So all these local bylaws are just making that a stricter standard.
Yeah.
So basically, what time phase do we want there? I just threw in October 16th to April 14th, because that's what several other towns did. But we can adjust that. Mark prefers November 1st to April 14th.
So the towns on the Cape, which have a much longer growing season than we do.
Okay.
So I think October might be too early here.
I didn't want to go too much later, but I suggested November 1st just because it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Not a middle month kind of thing, you know, it's just like, okay, come Halloween, I'm done, you know?
Yeah, we get our frost the first,
It could be before Halloween, but
probably the second week of October now. It used to be the first week of October, but, yeah.
It says our average first frost is the end of September.
that's what she said, first week of October.
The 21st through the 30th. So, I mean, this is the internet.
Yes, I know. I think November 1st sounds like a good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then, in terms of the other date, the state standard is March 16th.
Well,
The other date,
The closing date.
the end date.
The end date.
You know, we could still have snow on the ground here in the middle of March.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would almost do April 1st just to Mark's point on wasting days.
okay.
If you did April 1, then the next would be May 1, is May 1.
That's
too late?
That's
Yeah.
too late, yeah.
Okay.
It's just prohibiting it, so this is the date that allows people to apply again.
Yeah, they can start back up.
Yeah. All right, so November, well, this is not final because we're going to go through public hearing.
Right.
But should we try November 1st to April 1st?
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
And does it say, I'm not recalling, that the reason for that is because if the ground is frozen, the fertilizer is just gonna wash off if it rains?
Yeah, I think that was in one of the fertilizer things. And as we move it up to presumptions, it hits them for earlier. I
Yeah.
thought, right? I thought I remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah, you made it.
Might it not be a bad idea just to say that here with the dates?
Yeah, it's in the definition for impervious surface, frozen ground, but that would be good to.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why you shouldn't do this in the winter.
Right.
Okay, I'll add in something in frozen ground.
Frozen ground.
We have 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Maybe add it, especially to maybe like the synthetic fertilizer piece when you move that up to presumptions.
Yeah.
Maybe in there.
So what I'm gonna do is edit this, recirculate this, just for everybody to have a copy, and then also send it, put it on the website,
Yep.
advertise it.
Yep.
Send it to town council, then we'll have our public hearing in September. So none of this is absolute final.
Right.
Presumably that won't be done.
Do you want to do an all-town postcard like we did with our wetlands bylaw for this? Or at least maybe take out an ad in the Air Shirley Tracker? Something to get it out. I can never
I'd
be
be
sure
okay with
that's why we passed our bylaw, but we did that as a come to our public hearing.
Yeah, I think the people that were more for it
Yeah.
were grateful to see it, and so because of that, I think they maybe, like I said, made that extra effort to make sure they did get to that vote.
Yep.
So I'd say, I'd be okay with it, yeah.
How much is that?
I don't think it cost us that much money. And we've got money in the budget for, I want to say it was maybe $1,200 between the printing and the postage and.
As we went through the, we were talking about the ability to quantify, or not quantify, but, the savings of the money.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure that we don't try not to focus too much on the fact that it's just the pond money that we'll be saving. Because then you're gonna get the people that are gonna say, well, I don't live on the pond, so I'm gonna fertilize. So you're gonna have that whole pushback. So even though that is definitely probably the easiest thing to point for from a taxpayer savings perspective, it's just gonna be very, I think it could be counterproductive.
Okay.
So we just gotta be kind of careful
Okay,
with that.
there's a congressional aide in Connecticut who wrote up on this, and she's also talking about enhanced costs. It just adds in, it's hard to quantify what it adds into the cost of water treatment, drinking water treatment.
Right.
But I don't think we have any actual figures.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking when we finally have our open meeting,
Yeah.
let's be sure not to just throw that one in everybody's face because we'll see the opposition real quick.
Right.
So
I think you're right.
just,
Well, so, from a stormwater point of view, though, all of Ayer's stormwater gets put into a waterway, not necessarily a pond, but, I don't know where I'm going
We're
with
just
that.
leaving that one quiet.
yeah, I mean, aquifer per se, right? Essentially,
Yeah, well, it's all connected.
It is all
right?
connected,
Yeah.
but yeah, just
Yeah. No. yeah,
just
yeah.
started the defense
Yes.
earlier on.
Exactly.
Defense wins
Yep.
games.
Yep.
Okay, then, under the exemption section, right before the exemption section, be under performance standards. Mark, you had a question, is this 200 feet from a BBW, which would impact any homes?
For E, letter E?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking 200 feet from wetland resources, we're talking just 200 feet of riverfront zone, which isn't very much of area, but 100 feet from wetlands.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking specifically, well, I mean, your property. That means, so definitely nothing. Right?
Yeah, except under the exemptions. And, so we're just talking really about people's lawn maintenance, where they're throwing the lawn out to the lawn, not throwing lawn. But most towns in the state do exemptions for gardens, particularly vegetable gardens, which is a different thing. So somebody, they were within 100 feet and are growing zucchini, there are specific things that are not banning there.
The establishment of new term.
Yeah, an establishment of new, so there are reasonable exemptions. So, but it's more like, you know, if your lawn looks crappy, and you're gonna throw a bunch of nitrogen, phosphorus, fertilizer on it and see what that does. Well, that's not the best way to do it, you know, flowing down to the lawn.
Right.
But there are organic.
Right, you could get a soil test and then go get some organic fertilizer and use it at the right rate and then have to mow your lawn more often.
I just think people will focus on that, and that could be tough.
Well, if we,
So,
yeah, but
if everybody's okay with it, that's fine.
Yeah.
See how it goes over it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also circulated this copy to Pace, see what their thoughts are. I haven't heard anything yet.
To who?
People with Ayer concerned about the environment, Pace, they do a lot with Alpha Pond. They've been around forever. Getting various things cleaned up.
Yep.
Okay, and then, we just really had mainly, formatting things under organic fertilizer discussion time to do. We then questioned under the definition of turf. I was copying some other towns' definition of turf. But Mark, you want to question whether your gardens are turf?
Right.
Yeah,
What do you prefer something gardens?
you know, I'm now getting confused.
Yeah, and we probably don't need to.
So just take that out. Just take that out. And then Joanne wanted us to put in that little thing in red on regulations that's not in other towns, but we can certainly try it.
Yeah, you should reserve the ability to have a regulation. And, you know, I was thinking that the enforcement part of this could just be sending somebody an informational brochure. Just educational enforcement.
Start. So that would then, so then two things, so we have regulations and then below that we have non-criminal disposition, so that's different from an educational brochure.
Yes, it is.
And that would look pretty scary.
Even though you say non-criminal.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you think about that? Again, I was copying other towns, we don't have to keep it. Or we could put something in, that we could consider,
As soon as you say non-credible,
yeah,
it says to be credible.
right.
And it's off-putting.
Yeah, I don't mind getting rid of this. This is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, and then actually, if we did have an issue down the road with somebody really botching it, then we could do a regulation. So get rid of this altogether. George?
Yeah, that $300 a day, that's harsh.
I know, it's John Hillier level.
Yeah. Rob, George?
Would you put maybe a little bit of the enforcement
Sorry, keep
in the enforcement section, like it talked about the potential for penalties?
Yeah, or keep that first sentence. Or violating the regulation.
What about if we get rid of all this stuff ahead of a warning in lieu of a fine or other enforcement for the first offense can be issued at the discretion of the enforcement authority?
Yeah, looking at
That could be the whole violation and penalty section.
Right.
And take out non-criminal disposition, because that just sounds nasty.
Because, you know, like you say, frankly, we don't have, and none of the towns really have a great ability to enforce it.
Sure.
But primary goal is going to be, at least initially, education. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of everything but that one line.
And maybe we, instead of titling that section violations and penalties, we just title it enforcement.
Well, why don't I just move it up into the enforcement program?
Right, then the only question I have then is it says a warning in lieu of a fine, so that it talks about a fine. Do we want to take that out altogether?
Well, no, because that sounds like all you get is a warning.
Yeah, but it also suggests if you really push it, you could perhaps
Get a
get a
fine.
fine.
Right.
Okay.
And the town's other bylaws are set up that we can issue fines.
Yeah.
And we don't have to quantify the amount of the fine at all?
Mhm.
Okay. If we don't have to do that, then I'm fine, just use that sentence and move it up to
Yeah.
enforcement, and that's good.
And again, if we did pass this with regulations, we could always refine something if we needed to. But hopefully we wouldn't. Okay. And that was all from Mark. Really, and so I shall edit and reissue.
One thing that's not mentioned is hydro seeding.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah, that should be defined.
Mention that.
okay, so where would you mention that, George?
That's what we're gonna say about it.
Yeah, put it in definitions, right?
Well,
Definitions and then performance standards? How about performance standards? Yeah.
it's like somewhere near the establishment of new lawns, because most people do it by hydro seeding. Where was that?
Yeah, and the exemptions.
Yeah.
For the establishment of new term.
What do we want to say about hydro seeding?
Yeah, so is hydro seed bad, or what do you think?
Yeah.
Right.
So we don't want,
Is there good hydro seeding and bad hydro seeding?
well, is that
For hydro seeding for not a brand new lawn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, I've seen it,
know.
my neighbor just did it this past year to fix his bare spots from last year. Actually, a couple of them did it now that I think about it.
But we would want to maybe put something in about, using hydro seeding, growing from ponds when there's a possibility of backwash, fertilizer into the ponds is prohibited without permission. Something like that.
Sorry, fertilizer.
That's,
Sorry, with fertilizer use.
no,
Fertilizer misuse.
it's misuse, so, yeah. We'll play with it, and we'll see how that goes.
So under exemption C, for the establishment of new turf, comma, including use of hydro seeding, comma,
Yeah.
Oh, 70 new turf, including?
Yeah, I'm getting confused. Are we saying we don't want hydro seeding at all, or are we saying that would be an exemption that we'd allow it for a new turf?
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think we don't allow it at all, it's gonna get some
Yeah.
pushback.
So you want it for the establishment of new turf, including use of hydro seeding, and or vegetation and fertilizers.
Yep.
So do we want to not do anything at all about drawing for funds? Hydro seeding companies drawing for funds?
I think we can just continue to do that under our wetlands protection thing.
So then under D, you want to, for the repair of existing turf after substantial damage, you want to say then that there's no hydro seeding, I would say, correct? So you allow for establishment, but not for repair, right? Or is that where we're going to go?
So, no, I think you could include hydro seeding in that too. Yeah.
And if people are gonna wanna take a phone call and get it done, they're not gonna go out there and do it themselves. A lot of them can't or won't. So,
I understand, I just want to make sure we're clear.
yeah.
I was planning to do it myself. Well, I mean, haven't applied, honestly, but okay. To establish my new lawn, because it's dead.
Alrighty.
Good enough?
Good enough?
Thanks,
Any
Jess.
other-
Yeah,
and Jen, appreciate
thank you
it.
both.
Very nice.
And Robert thinks there's a possibility we might need what he says is 2 bites at the apple, but I think we're gonna,
One bite.
1 bite.
We could get rid of the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else
We have
that we
to-
can't put off?
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
Next one is meeting with the select board next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
And I have got to remember to post that tomorrow, because
Well,
What time? 6 o'clock. We'll be at the beginning of the agenda.
towards the beginning.
Towards the beginning? Yeah, this is true. Towards
Yeah.
the beginning, Tuesday.
So we have no meeting next week? I gotta see people twice now.
yeah, yeah,
The horror.
yeah.
And then the 19th, huh?
All right, everybody's good in that?
Yeah.
We had a meeting with Robert and Carly today, John, Jess and I, where we discovered that the union is digging their heels in about letting me out of the union. And that's kind of discouraging, but seems like we made good progress on being able to advertise for a half-time helper person in addition to Marilyn.
So do they have qualms about it being a full-time position?
Yeah. Benefits. 19 unders or 19 hours or under can be unbenefited. And the strategy is to hire this person as a temporary person and then put in the budget for,
Paying for it through the wetland fund.
yeah, the
Yes,
temporary
right, yeah.
person. Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say, we could leave your position and just open a new position and have you
No?
interview for that.
Yeah, we kind of asked that, and the answer was no. Yeah, so more on that later. Waterways project, we got the contract signed and delivered, and she's excited, Kim Becker, to be working on this. The National Park Service is weighing in, interestingly, because Wild and Scenic is a National Park Service program. So we may need to put their logo on instead of the Nissitissit, Squamicook, Nashua River logo. So I
Well,
gotta.
they better keep going, because
I know.
I want to print.
I know. So I get a nice long email from Emma at the National Park Service, and I just have to find time to call her back. And she did send the artwork, though. Anyway, so that's coming along. Dan and I went out and put little flags around. I checked with Jeff Thomas about a sign at Grove Pond and at Sandy Pond Beach, where Dan and I had put our little flags, and Jeff's fine with those. And I still have to get Dan to put me in touch with somebody at MassDOT to find out about the 2 places that are in state rights of way. So it's moving along. I think we're behind schedule, but the sign company called to tell us that the signposts themselves have gone up in price, like $3.19 a piece.
from,
From $50.
well, they've gone up to
$53.19.
319 is the delta. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's all I got on that.
Anyone else?
Oh, do we need to prove this?
No. Dan sent today an update of the beaver map with the edits that I had made, and then he kind of pulled the beaver interactions apart into 2 kinds, and I haven't really had a chance to look at that. But Mike Callahan had his helper look at Shaker Mill Pond, and now we have an estimate for 2 double deceivers. One at the former culvert location and one at Stone Dam, which we don't know.
At the outfall?
Yeah.
We can't do that one.
Yeah.
So you don't want us to proceed on the first one yet?
Dan wants to talk about it in light of the bigger picture.
Somebody else? Motion to adjourn?
So,
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.